How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Tavern. I'm Kamari, and today we're going to be looking at the top 5 games that I'm most excited for coming out this December. This time of year, Christmas shopping can get pretty stressful and hectic, and sometimes it's hard to find the right gift for somebody, so I'm hoping at least one of these games can help you knock one of those items off your list. The first game on our list actually came out right before December at the end of November, but I'm going to include it here anyways. World of Warcraft Dragonflight is the latest expansion for the critically acclaimed MMO. This game has been around for nearly 2 decades. Now, this game has received its fair share of criticism over the years for features and changes that they've implemented, but it looks as though the developers might actually be listening to feedback now and taking the game in a good direction. It does look as though Blizzard has finally learned a lesson and stopped relying on borrowed power that doesn't carry over and started adding more activities for the casual player, aka people who want to have fun and not just raid all the time and do dungeons. The story appears to focus on the Dragonflight and how they've been slowly restoring their power since defeating Deathwing. Players will attempt to help them with this while fighting some bad guys and corruption. We'll see new faces, old enemies, and some characters even switching sides. You'll also be able to play a new race coming to the expansion called the Drakthyr. The Drakthyr is a dragonoid race with its own passive abilities that relate to, well, being a dragon. It's also coming with a new class that is unique to the Drakthyr called the Evoker. You can try out this new class and new race in the new WoW expansion, Dragonflight. Overall, it looks like it could be a pretty fun expansion to jump back into the game and start playing. The second game on our list is the Callsito Protocol. Now, this game comes from the minds of those who made Dead Space and has been very hyped up because of that. It looks great, but the reviews have been, well, middling. This game was released today on December 2nd. The game has us taking on the role of a pilot who has crash landed on a prison planet and now has become a prisoner himself. A supposed riot breaks out, only for our protagonist to learn that this riot is actually a virus that is mutating everyone into monsters. It's up to us to unearth the mystery and escape. Essentially, this is a horror game that focuses on dark environments, mysteries, gore, and just being all around creepy and gross. I know a lot of people love that kind of horror, but some don't. Personally, I'm looking forward to playing this game, but that may be where you run into issues. It appears as though the atmosphere, voice acting, and story are receiving a lot of praise. However, the performance seems to be a different story. On PC, there have been many reports of a lot of frame drops, animation glitching, crashing, etc. Some similar issues have been reported on Xbox, although PS5 so far is supposed to be running very smoothly, so at least there is that if you have a PS5. Personally, I planned on streaming this game tonight. I even released a video pretty much promoting that. However, after seeing these issues, I am tempted to refund the game, get it on PS5, and make content off of that, doing reviews and analysis and some overarching narrative for the game. So we'll just have to see where I kind of land on that decision. The third game on our list is Need for Speed Unbound. This is a much more stylistic approach to Need for Speed than we're used to. It leans heavily into graffiti art styles and also uses a lot of cell shading. It's much more vibrant than previous games. It looks like someone took a Need for Speed game and mixed it with teenage angst and K-pop. Apparently though, this has been working. I haven't played it personally yet, but so far this game is being received very well. Many are praising the stylistic approach and saying that the new feeling of the open world really works. Personally, I haven't played a Need for Speed game in a long while. I've always liked them and the games in the series, but wasn't really rushing out to buy the latest entry in the series. This game does look different and unique enough to make me think I'm going to give it a playthrough. I mean, come on, mixing anime with fast cars? What could go wrong? This game will feature many of the things we've come to expect from the franchise, such as running from the cops, standard races, etc., as well as having some new things like the risk-reward system, which allows you to bet on yourself to increase your potential earnings and losses. It also has some other new game modes that I'm looking forward to trying. Overall though, I will say I am looking forward to giving this game a try. Coming in fourth on our list is Marvel's Midnight Suns. This game was also released on December 2nd to positive reviews. This is an XCOM-like take on a Marvel game that also focuses very heavily on role-playing elements. You are a hunter who's been resurrected to take on her havoc-causing demon mother, and the Avengers have decided that they want a piece of the action. You'll team up with different members of the Avengers as you strategize your way through different missions and battles. You'll want to plan and form your team around synergy, so you'll probably want a couple damage dealers, a healer, and maybe even a tank. But oh no, now your frost damage doesn't hurt this enemy very much, so you'll want to bring in a different hero for this mission. That's the kind of strategy you can expect to incorporate when playing this game. The combat is very similar to XCOM with a turn-based strategy system allowing you to reposition during turns and use environment to your advantage. This game also adds a card-based system into the combat as well, so the actions you take will be limited by the cards you currently have in your hand. An important thing to take note of here is that the developers have stated that talking with your teammates and getting to know them in between missions is very important, and whether you take time to do that or not could have consequences on your game later on. Personally, I love that. It really reminds me of the Knights of the Old Republic games, and I hope it's implemented well, because those are some of my favorite games of all times. And based on the reviews we've seen so far, it looks like it was. Now personally, the turn-based XCOM style games aren't really my take, but if the RPG elements are focused on as heavily as rumored, then I may actually be taking a look at this game. Next up at number 5, we have High on Life. This game finally got a concrete release date of December 13th. This is a comedy shooter game made by some of the minds behind Rick and Morty. Our protagonist just finished school and decided it'd be a great idea to become the galaxy's greatest bounty hunter. In this game, you'll team up with your arsenal of witty talking guns that will either praise or insult you based on your performance and actions. What we've seen of this game so far looks like it could be pretty good. The combat doesn't look bad and it could end up being funny. Others have expressed concern that games like this can get to a point where the jokes are way too repetitive or poorly timed, and even run into repeated lines throughout the game. This is a concern that I will say I also share. I imagine if you're struggling with a boss, once you've heard the same joke during the fight for the 15th time, it would get rather old and annoying. However, we will have to wait and see how this game turns out. This is definitely one that I will be getting and trying out for myself. That's going to wrap up our list, so let me know what game you are most excited about. If it's not on this list or coming out this month, let me know what it is down below and I may even take a look at it. That's going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by the tavern. If you enjoyed yourself, I'd really hope that you'll like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, comment letting me know what games you're looking forward to, and subscribe to the channel for more news and videos coming in the future. Thank you so much again, and have a great week.
Oh yeah, that's one of my children! They die fast! Don't worry, it's easy to make more!